From Canyon Lanes in Morongo Casino, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT event. Jake Hansen, looking to win his second career JBT title, is getting 16 pins a handicap and is the number 10 seed in today's match play format, taking on top seed Alberto Bernal, who has been untouchable today. 4 and past 3 opponents to get this far on a very high scoring day, and he's opened with the double in the title match as well. So great start for him. Over on the right, Joe Grondin's taking on Eric Hatchett in the Scratch Division title match. They're bowling mulligan format and endless 10th and match play at the same time. It is the turducken of formats, people. Eric still has 2 mulligans remaining. Joe is fresh out of mulligans, but remember, endless 10th, anybody can win. No matter how far you're trailing, you have to strike on your fill ball, whether it's 3 in a row in the 10th or spare strike in the 10th. And then you can continue striking 10 pins at a time to catch up. Henson won that doubles with Shane Strickland back in December in Montclair. And doesn't like that result right there. Good turnout today, always a fun time here at Morongo. 2-sided 24-lane center. Veteran Hatchett up here on the right. Can double to get back within 9. And does. Jake plays it safe and gets the 2 count pins there. I keep wanting to call him Dan because we had a Dan Hansen that bowled forever. Hello, Dan Hansen, if you're watching. Sorry, I keep invoking your name. Alberto with the super high backswing. Not only does he have a backswing that can't be any higher, he also pauses at the top, and I just don't want to be his shoulder surgeon in the next 10 years. That looks really hard to do, my goodness. But when you're young and flexible, go for it, I guess. Get maximum power on it. And boy, has it worked today. Qualified first today at plus 284, including his very first career JBT 300. Fairly rare that a handicap division bowler shoots 300, but man, were the scores high today. Plus 141 just to make the top 16 in handicap. Plus 88 in scratch. So just shy of a 217 average. We put out all kinds of patterns, and when we give them a little room to play, these guys just kill them. Jake was plus 189 for 5. That would lead most tournaments. Today that was only good for the number 10 seed. He had to be wondering if he made the cut. The always vocal contingent down here cheering him on. Proud Papa there. Alberto had his very first top 5 just 2 weeks ago at Vista. We had Alberto top 5, we had Gael top 5 again. Who knows where to send his plaque, but he made a top 5. And Israel Ramirez top 5 as well today. Top 4 at all 3 of those bowlers. So we bowled on a 47-foot pattern, but the only length in the pattern was in the middle. So the ball will skid forever to the if you miss left, and the ball will hook at your feet if you miss too far to the right. So you had to work with that potential over-under and find the right key to make it happen. See, that ball checks up early on Hatchett. He wants that ball to be staying in the oil a little longer. Earlier today, if you missed left, you bucketed. You had as much open as you wanted to the right. As Jake just curls that ball into the south. This will be his high singles finish, obviously, of his career. I'm not even going to try and explain what happened in the last match between Hatchett and Anthony Cando. Is a 267 to 257 mulligan aided final where they both had endless 10ths and used some of those mulligans. Revolted, yeah, it was revolted. Resulted, what was it, 307 to 297? Something like that. Numbers that sound like handicap scores is my point. Hanson kind of fishing around here, hasn't been able to strike yet. See both Grondin and Hatchett playing similar lines. Joe's keeping that break point a little bit further left than Eric, but both trying to keep it in what's left of the right side oil as long as possible. Jake uses his strike ball for both shots here. She got to avoid the chop and get the ball to curve enough. Didn't happen, so that is a second open in 5 frames for Hanson. And Bernal has a chance to put the hammer down. He can throw a couple more here in the 5th and 6th. Beautiful shot again. Came in at a 162 average today. He can kiss that adios.
Yeah.
And Jake came in at 140 today. He can kiss that bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people will be heavily re-rated overnight. That one's way further right. Oh, dear. I've definitely learned tranquilo. Calm the heck down. Easy for them to say. But they're really telling themselves to calm down. So like the parents back here are far more nervous than the kids usually. That's got a chance. Yeah! There you go. Picture perfect conversion of the washout for Alberto, and he does look tranquilo. More tranquilo. You guys are nervous. It was like the calmest customer out there. Eric with that bent elbow is sort of his trademark all the way through the delivery. Crunches that rack. See if Hansen can respond at all here in the 6th. Double dribble. Hey, that'll work. Brooklyn's count. No endless 10ths, no mulligans for the handicap division bowlers. We don't do that because that would unfairly help the higher average handicappers. So keep practicing, get scratch, and have fun with our kitchen sink format. So Eric's got his first real decision here. He's already used 1 mulligan. Does he want to burn his final mulligan here only in the 6th frame? When he could still have endless 10ths to deal with as well. No, he does not. There's a good shot. Henson showing some life in the second half of the game. Hatchett no problem with the spare. He trails by 10, but still has the 1 do-over in the bank. It's a lot of fun. We don't do this format very often, but it provides all kinds of different variables that you would never otherwise see in a bowling tournament. So Bernal, for the first time, faced with a little bit of pressure from Hansen. Let's see how he perfect. Tell you what, when he's in that 1-3 pocket, he just makes shrapnel of those pins, as so many people did today. 300s all over the place. Alberto had one of them, like we talked about. Anthony Kando had a 300 game today, and Kylie Shishima winning the women's series with a perfect 300 game, her first. And the first person ever to roll a perfect game in the girls' title match, so congrats to Kylie as well. And boy does Bernal respond with a beautiful double of his own. He leads by 43 pins, and again is giving 16. But if Hansen can strike twice himself, he'll cut that lead down to only 23, which is really only 7 once you add the handicap in, so still very much anybody's game. Joe, meanwhile, gets fortunate to break up that spare. Brooklyn last time. This is a better shot. And he gets the 4th into trip on lane 4. And he's got a poker face going on. These handicap guys look like just walking the park. Joe, match play finalist at Junior Gold this year. 3 titles on our tour. Plenty of titles over on JBT as well. And a nice mixer there. The nice thing for Joe is he doesn't have to worry about any strategy. He's got no do-overs, and I think he can just bowl and not clutter his mind with that stuff. Here's Hanson in the 9th. Another strike for Hanson. Make it 4 in a row and get him on. 7-pin difference here when you factor in the handicap. Oops. still knocking pins over there on lane 3. Uh-oh. Now, this would be a terrible spot for Eric to have to use his mulligan because he's only on a spare, so he can't get maximum value out of it, even if he chooses to reset it. If I was him, I would not use it here, even though it's getting late. I don't think you can use it here and not get the max value. You've got to be on a double. Oh, and Bernal tucks that ball a little bit. And this is going to come right down to it now. Make sure you watch his 300. It was part of a moment where we had 4 front nines working all at the same time today. Hanson pondering over to my left. Alberto at the spare. He's got it. Leads by 31, giving 16. Sorry, leads by 21, giving 16. That's a 5-pin lead. Heading into 10th, and Eric is still pondering what to do. Asking his friends for advice. I can't tell him what to do. I wouldn't take it. Oh! Wow, and Eric hits the reset button. See, when you're on a spare, even if you strike now, you've only gained that 10 pins plus the count back. But his logic is, I know I'm not getting max value out of it, but I'm just running out of time. I have to take it. Mulligan's so cool because it makes you think over scenarios you just don't otherwise get. Alberto at the spare, he has it. So if he fills count here, this should make Hanson just have to strike in the 10th somehow. Well, he does at least strike after that, so doing anything other than striking right there would have just been catastrophic. But it can't be eliminated as long as you strike in that fill ball. Ooh, and 6 might be just enough there. 216 gives him 250. Which means that Jake will need 201 to win this match. 130, 171, 99. So Jake has to strike on this ball to win. Anything that's Alberto. Well, we started at noon. It's around 7 o'clock right now, and it's all down to this one shot, win or lose, right here. It's high. The 610 stands, and Alberto Bernal escapes as the top seed and wins the title. Great comeback from Hansen. He was pretty well buried in this match around the 6th frame. And Alberto just did the math. In any language, that is the relief that comes with a hard-fought victory.
Alberto. Alberto.
Fantastic comeback from Jake. Just 1 frame more was needed there. Needed to win by 16. He's going to win by 18 if Jake strikes. Both bowlers now, Grondin and Hatchett on strikes over there. I know it's a long tape, but we're going to stay with this here. That ball checked. And then pushes. Great finish from Hanson, 198. 250 to 248. All these matches have been like this, just this ridiculous scores all day long. It's supposed to be like 200 to 198, not 250 to 248 every single match. But that's your final here, and that is a brand new JBT champ, and there is a thumbs up. And a big high 10 from Dad. And a high 5 from everybody. You know who didn't win a title today? Paulina. Eric, meanwhile, leaves a Very tough four-pin. So Eric has a 218 pace going. Joe right now with 9 spare strike 4, 235. So two things going in Eric's favor. First of all, the count. Second of all, the one remaining mulligan. Oh no, he used that, so he's mulliganless. Never mind, he's got one thing on the count. So that strike in the 10th essentially means that he must get the next one in order to have a chance at the third strike to get the endless 10th. If you're following all this at home, there'll be a quiz on Monday. I'll be very impressed. You used that last mulligan, correct?
Yeah.
That's a pen written 0?
Yeah. I'll see you later walk over there.
I see. Very, very professional. Has to have it. And he gets it, boy. Just watching that 10 pin the whole way there. It's either going to be a half 10 or a strike. And he got the strike, so now obviously he must on this as well. Up quickly. All right, good. The rack for 228. I'm falling apart. And most importantly, has that endless 10th. Neither bowler has a mulligan. Joey would 9 spare strike for 235. Should put Eric less than a mark behind. Remember, Joe can also fill up for endless 10th as well. It's sort of defense. If there's ever defense in bowling, this is a potential scenario where it could be. Got his left leg in front of the ball return now, and these are long ball returns here, so he's using very little approach at this point. And open, and he loses. Boy, what a nice shot. Holy cow. Extremely truncated approach, has to loft it over the caps a little bit. He does so, and he pops that 10 pin out. And that puts him in the 240s and makes life that much harder for Eric. He couldn't have won it on that ball, but he could have lost it on that shot. He didn't. The next strike would make Eric's climb that much more precipitous. Heck of a run, Jake.
Thanks.
Eric even watching. Probably trying to get a little bit of a read, too, in case he needs to be back in that line. Oh. So, 2 really bad things happened to Joe right there. Obviously, he doesn't get the strike, but he doesn't get the endless 10th, no matter what Joe does. So Joe is frozen at whatever finishing score this is about to be. And it will be a 245, which is a great game, but will it be enough? So here's the, oh no. So here's our situation, folks. Joe does not have the endless 10th, so he is frozen at 245. Eric did get that strike on the fill ball, so he does have the endless 10th. He's at 228. Neither bowler has any mulligans left, so Eric's now going to start on the opposite lane that he finished on. And he'll have to strike on that lane and strike on his next ball to win the title. Anything less, Joe wins the title. Must strike on this shot and the next shot to be only the second bowler to ever take the title away in an endless 10th situation. Like it. Ball doesn't wrinkle, and Joe Grondin escapes with the title. A hard-fought battle with so many opportunities left and right and everything, but it just was a little bit over-under on 6, and Joey Grondin comes away with it all. Great stuff here. We'll do it all over again tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday. We got all kinds of good things coming on tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. See